morning and welcome to my dad's garage. Today, actually for the next couple of days, I'm going to be turning this block of wood into a spear gun. Well, I'm going to try and get a couple of spear guns out of it. Yeah, so this is Sapele mahogany. Yeah, it's the closest to teak and mahogany that I could get my hands on. Yeah, come along. It's going to be quite the interesting experience and a super fun journey. I really enjoy working with wood. I really love the ocean, and making spear guns is kind of where they meet. Oh wait. Awesome. So it's day 2/3 of the spear gun build. I didn't film much of what I did, so it's going to look quite a bit different. Yeah, so this is where we're at the moment. I've been doing some of the shaping and I've put in the channel where the spear is going to go. Yeah, these are the tools that I'm using: sharpening, hammer, chisels, and raspers. I don't know what you call these in English. And then I've found that this piece right here is quite handy for shaping, and then also small planer and the bigger planer, and this one is just for show. Don't actually use that one too much. But yeah, what we're busy with now is getting it down to shape, to a shape that I like, and then I'm going to copy it to the other side. Okay, so we had a bit of bad luck with the spear gun. Yeah, so the handle is supposed to go in there, and then it's supposed to sit flush with the groove I made for the spear. But as you can see, I had some tear out. At first I thought I could just cut off a piece and then retry, and then it kept on happening, so not too happy about that. So I've decided quite drastically to scrap the whole piece of wood and start over. Luckily, I've already got this piece that I made, and yeah, we're gonna start over, and I'm not gonna be stumbled by it. In fact, I'm gonna try something a bit more ambitious, and I'm gonna try and make an inverted roller. Yeah, hopefully that goes a bit better. I made a few marks there. You can't see it now, but I've made a dimple in there as well. And I've also given myself a bit more space to work with, just so in case that happens again, I won't have any tear out over there. Yeah, I'm really hoping this is going to go well. The previous time did not. Let's try again. So I'm just pre-drilling to make sure that the spade bit is going to go in straight, and then I'm also just sharpening it up a little bit. Yeah, so I just figured out my mistake. As I was going in with the drill bit, there was too much vibration in the piece, so I'm gonna clamp it down real proper this time, just to make sure there's no vibration and decreasing the likelihood of there being any tear out. Yeah, lesson learned. So I clamped it down, and it really helped with the vibration, which meant I could drill in straight and there would be less tear out. However, the wood got really hot, so I had to pause in between drilling, and that kind of tested my patience, so I switched over to a handheld drill, and that really did an excellent job at making a hole for the handle to go in. So the handle is in and it fits quite snug. I've done a few tests and it shoots out quite straight, slides in quite nice. Yeah, so I'm busy with the shaping now. I'm going to start with the shaping, and I found this super old spoke shape which I'm very happy about. I'm just quickly gonna sharpen it up and then I'm gonna start shaping. Enjoy. If you don't know how to sharpen a blade or chisel, I would highly recommend learning how to do it. There is a ton of YouTube videos and it really is a crucial part of woodworking and an important life skill. Okay, so I just realized that you can work much more accurately with this block, where if I'm gonna have roundings like this, it's gonna be difficult to drill in straight, especially if you want to put in an inverted row leaded. So I'm quickly gonna just drill the holes for them, or at least mark them down so I could work around that. I marked down where I want to drill using a combination square and a steel ruler. I start off with a 4mm and then a 10mm drill bit, finishing it off with the chisel. Okay, so I accidentally forgot to press the record button. I got shaping and then just completely forgot to actually record. Yeah, anyways, I got to work and basically finished the whole thing. It's got quite a nice shape to it. I'm busy making a notch in here for the line to go through and wrap around the spear. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to round this out nice and neat, just so there's not just this ugly transition between the plastic and the wood. And then over here in the front, I'm gonna obviously clean this up, but those are where I'm gonna insert the roller wheels. Yeah, these roller wheels my brother-in-law actually 3D printed for me. They came out quite nice. I'm slightly concerned whether they are going to be strong enough. If they aren't, then it's not the end of the world. I'll make another plan. But yeah, that's going to be the proof of concept. Okay, so I just quickly undid the screws over here so I can shape this down on both sides, and then I put on a little lappy so I won't hurt my handle. Yeah, now I've got a good point of reference over here and I'm gonna start shaping. So working with wood is quite tricky sometimes, because once you've taken away the wood you can't really put it back. So as you can see, I'm constantly adjusting the depth of my spoke shave, just to ensure that I don't take away any wood that I might regret later on. Yeah, working along the grain, taking my time, and just enjoying the process. So when shaping, I often switch up between tools. As a beginner, I don't always know which tool is best for the job, so I kind of test them out as I go, and then whichever one is doing the job the best is the one I'm using. And in that way I also get to learn how to use the tools, and it's really much more fun to use a variety of tools than using the same one constantly. So that's the shaping done. I've already started to sand just a little bit. Yeah, I'm super excited for sanding. It's quite a tedious process, but once the sanding is finished, yeah, it's quite quick. Yeah, I've made a lot of progress in the past 3 days. I've only been able to work on the gun after work. So yeah, I've been pushing myself to try and get this thing done, especially after the previous one kind of failed. Yeah, not too happy with myself on that, but yeah, I think in the end I made the correct decision to just start over and do it right from the start. So yeah, this is where we are at, and shaping is done. I'm gonna start sanding now. And yeah, I really hope you're enjoying the video so far. Please leave a comment if you think you would have done something differently. If you have any advice how you would go about making your own spear gun. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. Yeah, so this is just a sanding block that I made myself. It's really just a piece of wood that I put 2 dowels in. It's quite a simple mechanism. Take the paper, hold it like that, and then it works quite well. Yeah, so currently I'm busy with 100 grit. I'm not going to go finer than 220, otherwise I'm just going to end up otherwise I'm just going to end up polishing the wood before I apply the finish. Yeah, so enjoy. Yeah, so I said I was going to sand, but I actually had to plane down quickly. There was quite a nasty bulge over here that I just had to smooth out. And then I realized I just have to quickly neaten up these holes for my rollers. Yeah, I'm quickly going to do that, and then I'm going to sand, I promise. I promised myself, and if I don't do it now, then I'm never going to end with this project. Yeah, let's get to it. Broke my tripod, just fixed up with good old super glue. Stuff works like a charm. Yeah. Awesome, good to roll. Okay, I'm stopping myself now. There is going to be no more shaping. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. At this point, I just want to get it done. Yeah, sometimes getting things perfect is the only thing blocking you from getting it done. sanding has come out quite nice. I'm just gonna put in this handle, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten it, and I'm gonna glue it in as well before I varnish it. Yeah, I really want this thing to sit nice and snug, and yeah, I actually don't know whether it's better to do it before or after varnishing, but my gut feeling is saying do it before. Yeah, so I'm going to be using this Tight Bond waterproof just to stick it in, make sure this bad boy is not going to come out at all, and then I'm going to fasten it with these screws as well, just to be 100% sure. This is really not something that you want coming out, so I'm gonna do my best to get this thing in there as stuck as possible. Let's go. Good morning. Well, yeah, we're back. So I'm pretty much finished up with the gun. Handle is in, which I'm quite happy with. There was a time when I was gluing it up and I thought, yo, it's really it's really going sideways, but I managed to save that. So I bolted it in over there. And then on this side, I left out just a little piece for the shooting line to come back and around, just so it tidies nice around the line release. Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly do some final touch-ups over there. Okay, so I've put these 3 holes in, which I'm going to put these bolts in. That's for when I pull the rubbers back at the bottom, they can attach to them. For all the bolts, screws, washers, bearings, and all the other parts, I only use stainless steel. It's very good at fighting rust and relatively cost effective compared to other rust resistant metals. I'm just shaping the washers to fit the shape of the wood. Filing them down will prevent any line or rubber from being cut on the edge of the washer. Yeah, it actually looks like a brutalist art piece of some kind, but yeah, it's gonna do the trick, I believe. These things are not gonna come out, and there's quite a nice lip for them, for the rubbers to attach to. Just a little bit of squeeze out over there. But yeah, it's gonna do the trick. Okay, so awesome. Sanding is finished. What I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to put in a screw over here and then another one back here, just so that the shooting line will trail nicely along here and then it won't interfere with the rubbers. Yeah, I'm going to do that quickly and then I'm gonna do the finishing, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, it's always super fun to see that beautiful grain come out once you apply the finishing. Yeah, awesome. Let's get going. Once again, I only use stainless screws. This is really important.
I quickly made a slit using a dovetail saw and a chisel. This is just to feed the line from the top of the gun to the bottom and around the screw I inserted. This is to keep things nice and tidy.
Finally, now this is probably the most exciting part is sealing off the wood. We're going to be seeing that beautiful color coming out, and yeah, I'm quite excited for this part. I'm going to be using Woodock Marine. It's quite handy. It seals the wood quite nicely, and it provides all the protection you want for any piece of wood you take into the ocean. Yeah, so normally what you do is you take a wet cloth or a damp cloth and then just wipe it, whatever you're going to do. But I prefer using a dry paintbrush. That seems to be doing the job a lot better, especially when you want to get into these nooks and crannies like that. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it's the next morning. Yesterday I applied 3 more coats of the finishing, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Here we go. So yeah, it's I think it's looking quite good. This morning I quickly assembled the rollers that my brother-in-law assembled for me. That my brother-in-law printed for me. Yeah, I'm excited to see if they actually work. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the gun turned out. Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I've learned is when to work precisely and when you are allowed to have a bit more room for error, as they would say. For example, when shaping, a lot of the mistakes was cleared up when I started sanding. And I thought, it's going to be the end of the world if it's not shaped perfectly from the start. And then when it got to the sanding, all of those mistakes just seemed to disappear. Whereas with, for example, the assembly, I had to work quite precise, getting things straight. Things that matter the most ended up taking a lot more time because you can't fix it. If I, for example, this groove that I put in, that had to be straight from the start. Well, from the start to the finish. So yeah, if that messed up, then I would have had to chuck the whole piece of wood. Yeah, I'm super excited to get into the water with this gun. I actually don't know if it's going to float or if it's going to sink to the bottom. If you haven't already, please leave a comment what you think of the process, what you would have done differently. Yeah, I'm by no means an expert. I think I just wanted to prove to myself that I can do it with the bare minimum tools. And yeah, hopefully I've shown you that it is possible if you want to make your own gun. You can do it. It just takes a lot of time, and there is the slight possibility of it going sideways. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the results so far. I'm super excited to get into the water, and yeah, hopefully you've been inspired to try and make your own gun.